Welcome to the Black Male Podcast. This is a space where we delve deep into the experiences, challenges, and triumphs of black men in today's society. I'm your host, Mike Sears. Each and every week, we'll bring you inspiring stories, insightful discussions, and actionable advice tailored specifically for black men looking to navigate and excel in all facets of life. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's episode of the Black Male Podcast. Today, I hope everybody's having a good day. Let's jump right into Mike's monologue. Reading another excerpt from my book, Male Functioning. I hope you have the book. If you don't, go get it. It is available at Amazon. Today I want to talk about sight versus vision. There is a difference, people. Sight versus vision. How you think is how you'll see, and what you see is how you'll become who and what you're supposed to be. What is your view? Depending on where you're sitting or standing in the world, your view and how you see things may be different from others. Have you ever been in an airplane before and looked out of the window to watch the plane take off and then ascend into the clouds? Things from the air start to look a lot different than they did on the ground, right? This directly correlates to how you see things in life based on your position. Life can look very different to someone who is poor compared to someone who is rich. Ask yourself this question: do you see the glass half empty or half full? How you view things depends on your perspective and your position. Are you sitting down low or looking up high? This will determine what you see and how you see it. Now, if you tie together what you think and believe to what you see with your natural eyes, the saying, seeing is believing, may make perfect sense. In short, it simply means that you are a person who is not going to believe a thing is true until you see it with your own eyes. For those who think this way, unless they lay their physical eyes on it, it's not real. I completely understand that saying, but I believe this statement to be truer. Thinking is believing. Whatever you think in your head and feel in your heart is what you believe is true, even before you see it with your naked eye. The difference between those two sayings is that the second one does not require you to see anything physically. Instead, you visualize it. There is a difference between what you see with your naked eye and what you have a vision for. What you can see with your naked eye is already here. It exists in the present, and you can see it in the physical form. What you visualize hasn't happened yet, but well before it happens, you can see it happening in your head by using your imagination. I just want to express the importance of having vision. There are a lot of things that will not happen for you, that will not happen in life for me, if I don't have a vision for it. If you don't have a vision for it, one of the things one of my coaches said when I played football was that you got to see it before you see it. In other words, see yourself making the big play. See yourself catching that touchdown. See yourself breaking through barriers. You got to see it. It's in your head first. It's in your imagination. It's in your thoughts. And if you can see it, no matter what anybody tells you, whether they believe in you or not, if you believe in yourself, seeing it is believing, because it's in your vision, not in your sight. And again, you may not see it right away, but if you hold to that vision, hey, it shall come to pass. So that's Mike's monologue, and I want to move right into introducing today's guest. Before I do that, I do want to say thank you very much for tuning in these 4 weeks in this month. This is our 4th episode. And I will say this is something that I had to have a vision for, because there was a long time that I couldn't see myself doing this. But I'm thankful that I'm here. I'm happy that I have this platform, and I hope that you're enjoying it as much as I am, and you're getting something out of each episode. That is the purpose of the platform. Now, today's guest, his name, Dr. Eddie Connor. Dr. Eddie is an empowerment speaker. He's a college professor, a radio, TV correspondent, and visionary. He has a vision. He definitely has a vision of the Access Identity Conference. I'll let him tell you the rest, because he does so much more. Please help me welcome to the Black Male Podcast, Dr. Eddie Connor. Hey, good brother, how's it going? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
What's going on, bro?
Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for taking time out of your very, very busy, purposeful schedule, just to chop it up with me and hopefully share some good conversation and dialogue with our audience.
Absolutely. Glad to be with you. Glad to join you.
Yes, sir.
As well.
So, you do a lot. You do a whole lot, and I barely scratched the surface with the introduction. But I want to, if I could ask you a question, as a young black male that's in the spaces and the places that you're in, the influence that you have, all the things that you're capable of, and you've been able to do and blessed to do, where do you draw your inspiration from?
Well, I draw my inspiration from visionaries like yourself. You know, I think, as you mentioned, you have to see it before you see it.
Yeah.
And I think you got to add another thing to it. You got to see it before you see it, or you never will seize it.
Yeah.
And so having a vision for your life, despite the situation or what it is that you go through, really changes the trajectory for your life as well. And so I would say that, and then of course personal situations and trials and what it is that I've overcome.
Yeah.
If we had the movie The Color Purple on the screen, I'd tell you, just like Sophia, all my life I had to fight. And so being able to bounce back from a setback to overcome stage 4 cancer, 2024 marks 24 years of me being cancer free.
Wow. Wow.
By the grace of God, was able to bounce back from that setback, overcome odds and obstacles, doubt, mental devastation, and find that inspiration despite all of what it is that I went through. And you grow through what you go through, and that's by the grace of God.
Absolutely. Why you do mentoring programs? That's one of the many things that you do. Why is it important for you to give back? Like, there's nothing. Let me say, I want to make sure I phrase my words correctly. Everybody doesn't have a mind to, when they gather, when they get, to necessarily give back. You have a will to give, and through mentoring and through just all that you have, you find time, even today, finding time to be here with us today. This is something you decided to do. Why give back? Why is that even important?
It's what Dr. George Frazier said. He said, once you learn and earn, then you must return back to your community. And so communities are not just offline, communities online, and it is sharing what it is that your knowledge base, your expertise, your testimony. Yeah. Because somebody needs what you have so that they can become who they're supposed to be. I like to say somebody's waiting for you to become who you are. Yeah. So they can become who they're supposed to be. Yeah. If I don't share it, I'm selfish with it. So I got to share what it is that I have and what God has given me to bless other people.
That's good. That's something that has taken me a while to understand. I don't want to describe my issue or things that I've had to overcome as a false sense of humility, but sometimes you feel like, well, why me? Why my voice? Who's going to listen to me? What, why is my story important? But I believe now I realize what you just said is that everything that I have, how little or how great it may be, it's not for me. Give it. And even though most people, they pride themselves in getting, it's really about giving. Would you agree or disagree?
Absolutely. It's more blessed to give than it is to receive.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, nobody really celebrates a taker, but you do
Right.
celebrate a giver.
Yeah.
And being able to bless other people, to share what it is that you have, your wealth and your wisdom, is needed and is a necessity.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I realized along this journey that the perfect gift is not always what you think is perfect. In other words, how you're packaged and how you come. A lot of times we think we have to be seen the way others have already been seen. Like we got to look like this or act like that. And if we don't have this or that, then it's like, nah, I shy away from it and I don't know. But again, people are literally waiting for you, waiting for myself, everyone, the world is waiting for us to be who God created us to be. And if we don't do that, we literally rob the world of something great.
That's without a doubt. Because here's the thing, nobody is going to really just celebrate a clone or a copy.
Right.
If I become you, now I cheat you of me. If you become me, now you cheat me of you.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, nobody has it all anyway.
Right.
But in communication, collaboration, and connection, in sharing is where we're able to ingratiate one another and we're able to grow together. Because I got to be around people. What does the scripture say? Iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
Yes, sir.
And I got to be around people. A lot of times we're around people who they not sharp. They're not sharp like iron.
Right.
They just as dull as a plastic knife. So
definitely.
well, as a result, they leave us dull. And a lot of people are insecure because whoever you intimidate will be who you eliminate. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you need to leave it.
Yeah.
You hang around 9 broke folk, you're gonna be the 10th one. So you got to get around people who improve you, who grow you, who develop you.
Right. And I heard somebody talk about that as well, in that it's a double-edged sword, because it's when you're getting around people that can influence you and are going to pour into you and that's further along in life than you are, it helps you. But when you're in a sphere of influence where you have an opportunity to in a sense, be the sharpest knife in the drawer, then that's now that's your opportunity to help pull others up and help give back. To be the person of influence. And I think sometimes we forget about that part because I'm not sure about you, but I know I've had others that I've looked up to, and without having that mark or that goal of a thing or something that I wanted to be or become, and having people take the time to pour into me, I wouldn't be who I am, without those influences, whether it was my father or a coach or a preacher, whomever it was, and just that I'm speaking male figures since it's the male podcast. Obviously, those were not the only influences, from mother to aunt to wife, all influences as well. But without those impartations, we don't have that opportunity to become. And I would venture to say, and this can be contested or not, that I believe we're in a time where the guards are somewhat changing, where we were the ones receiving it and being imparted in because of those that were so much further ahead of us. But now we're in a position where we're charged to take that lead, and we have to now become the leaders that we once looked up to. And I definitely see you as one of those individuals.
Oh, I appreciate you. And I think you're so right. tide is changing, the the guard is changing, the
Mm-hmm.
tables are turning. People who
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes are looking down on you are going to now be looking up to you.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
people who, in many cases, who call you crazy are now the main ones who ask you for advice.
Yeah.
It is what T.D. Jakes said in a sermon. He said that the giants have passed on, and in many cases, sadly, we've been left with midgets.
Mm.
And I think it is the onus on all of us to grow up, to resurrect, to bring out the giant that's on the inside of us, because life teaches you in two ways: mistakes and mentors.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
better to learn from the mistake of a mentor than to make your own. And so
Yeah.
that aspect of mentorship is all about development and its maturation. When you were a child, you spake as a child, but when you became a man, you
Yes,
had to
sir.
put away childish things, and that only happens through those who mentor you and guide you
Yeah.
to be a trailblazer and a trendsetter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, to myself, to you, to our listeners, it's important to, as the Bible say, be content in whatever state that you're in. Sometimes you're on the receiving end of the influence. You're there to learn. You're there to be imparted into. You're there to be mentored. And it's like when you're in that position, don't be halting. Don't feel like, this person can't tell me nothing, or I know it all anyway. Be humble enough to take it in and learn, because you never know when your opportunity is going to come where the tides do turn, and you're going to be looked to for those answers. And if you didn't learn the lesson, you'll find it difficult to be able to impart in others the things that you didn't get. You know. So extremely important. And I'll say this publicly. We haven't had a lot of opportunity to talk offline, but I watch you from afar, and there's a lot of things I hear you saying that I'm thinking in my head. There's a lot of things that you're things that you're doing in spaces that you're in. I'm saying, wow, this is I'm seeing myself, and it's not in any way of a disrespect, or like you said, me trying to clone or be like, but I'm encouraged, by your walk and by your discipline and what it is that you're doing. And I'm okay with saying that, one, to encourage you, and then two, for you to know that, man, people are looking up to you, and they are expecting you to win, and they're rooting for you to win. And I'm one of those guys.
That's a blessing, man. That's a
Yes, sir.
blessing, because I think we're in a season where we have to move into a space and place of collaboration, of not just
Yeah,
competition. And
absolutely.
that speaks to the fact that a win for you is a win for me too.
Yeah, man. And that's real. It's
And it's,
there's room for everybody. Unfortunately, we
oh yeah,
think there's only enough room for one person at the top, and literally that's not how God created us. Like we need each other. He expects us to go together and not alone. Individually, we
yeah.
have some things that we have to conquer. Obviously, there's some things that I can't do for you and you can't do for me. But when I come to that space of maturity and growth, there's a certain level that I'll never reach unless I'm willing to link up with my brother, link up with my sister, and create that community where we all grow and go. Speaking of which, you created
That's right.
something called the Eagles Academy. Can you talk to a little bit more about what that is and how that came about?
I'm literally just getting out of class tonight.
Ah,
I
yeah.
got my Eagles gear on. So every Wednesday night I'm teaching
Okay.
in our Eagles Academy, and it's all about empowering people to soar into success and purpose. It comes from that scripture. God to renew your strength like the eagles in Isaiah, run and not be
Yes.
weary, you walk and not faint. And
Yes.
so we're really showing people how to really be cultivators with the creativity and the gifts of what God has given them. And I'm really intent. It's where I coach, it's where I teach, it's where I train, it's where I mentor. I was just teaching a session tonight on communicators are connectors. And the fact is, a lot of times people really are afraid to share, they're afraid to speak, they're afraid to express themselves, and the communication aspect is one of the top 5 fears in the world, sadly enough.
Yeah.
But we have to recognize that we have something to share, we have something to contribute. And so
Yeah.
we pride ourselves on sharpening your mindset, strengthening your skill set, developing your tool set. People can go and be a member and join at the eaglesacademy.com.
Great.
We tap the join now button, fill out the form, be transformed. My vision is all about creating a longer table, not a taller fence. And so, like you were talking about, bringing people to the table. There's room for everybody at the table.
Right. Right.
And even if you ain't at the table, pull up a folding chair.
Yeah.
Because if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. And so
Yeah.
we really just want to empower people to soar into their greatness and who it is that they are. I really believe that you don't just soar as high as your dream, you soar as high as your team.
Yeah.
And so surrounding yourself with people who are going in the direction where you desire to go is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. That is great. Another thing that you do, I'm happy you said that. Can you say how people can become a part of the Academy one more time if they missed it?
Yes. Go to the eaglesacademy.com. When you get there, just tap the join now button, fill out the form, be transformed. And here's what I'll do. Because people are watching you, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them the hookup. Holler if you hear me. I'm giving you a discount code. Just put in the word SOAR. You getting 20% off. You're getting a discount off your membership simply because we on the Black Male Podcast with the man himself, Iron Mike Sears. So just put in the word SOAR at checkout.
That'll work. You heard it. Please.
Is there something else I can help with?
It is worth you investing your time and your money in something that's going to make you better. And being, as Dr. Connor said earlier, you got to surround yourself with greatness in order to become and be great. It's imperative. This is not a journey for the lone hero, the lone wolf. We can go together and grow together. You also have a event called the Access Identity Conference. Is that what we went to last year? That was around August. Is that when the conference takes place?
Yeah, that's exactly what you came to, and I was appreciative of you and your wife coming and supporting.
It was a great conference.
Last year.
Conference. Yes.
I appreciate that. I was scared as I don't know what. That was my first one.
You did well.
I ever did.
Yeah. Yeah,
Man,
you had a
feel
vision.
the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah, you had a vision for it and you executed it. And I know it wasn't something you did alone, but it's always a challenge just to do anything that requires resources and abilities beyond your own. It can be a scary thing, but can you talk to that? How did you overcome that, and how do you think? I thought it was a success, but how do you feel on the other side of it? Like you said, it being your first.
I was blown away. We had registrants from 24 states, 13 countries. It was sold out. It was my first one at that. And, like I was saying, you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. I think the most dangerous place you can be in life is not when you're walking on water, but when you're staying in the boat. And the boat of you stinking thinking that keeps you sinking, the boat of why it won't work, all those things. Got to get rid of the excuses and execute. And so it was 2023. My motto of last year is 2023 is now or never for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was a now or never moment. I said, all right, we just going to do this. We're going to jump into the deep end.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it happen. We're going to learn on the job. We're going to learn as we go.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just grateful that, it worked out and God sent the right people to attend, but also to help me to stir up that gift and to bless a lot of people to increase their ideas, their impact, and their influence.
Absolutely. And now that was your first year. You expecting to come back again this year?
If we don't do it this year, we'll look to do it next year.
Okay, cool.
So
well, definitely,
it is a serious process of preparation for sure. Trust
me, that I do understand. And as long as you keep doing it, because again, like you said, it's a huge undertaking, and I know you're a man of excellence. It's important to do things and not just do it, but do things well because of who you represent. And, you want people to get, the best out of it. Definitely, I encourage, anybody listening, if you don't know Dr. Eddie Connor, connect with him. You need to stay in contact with him. He's, on the edge of doing some really, really great things. And, what he's doing is not to make himself great, but he's doing things to empower and to encourage people, to encourage you, young, old, and everything in between. And so he's definitely an individual, somebody you want to be around and you want to be connected to in any way that you can. Before we go to break, I want to talk about your TEDx experience in Detroit. Now, you did TEDx Detroit this past year. Was this your first TEDx speech, or had you been a part of any other TEDx experiences?
Phenomenal opportunity that was. That was my first one.
Okay.
That was my first time. Yeah. So it's been something that has been on my list that I've been wanting to do, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. It was really an eye-opening experience for sure.
How did that come about? What was that process like? Because I've heard about it. I know it's not an easy process, and just because it's something you want to do, like you said, something that's on your list, it doesn't mean it just happens. It's a process, and they're selective in that process. So how did that work out, and what was your process? How did that happen for you?
I think it's all about you being around people who recognize your gifts and are not ashamed to put your name in rooms that your feet haven't stepped into.
Man,
that really caused that to materialize. And then when you have the opportunity, what will you do to prepare to execute?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs are going to spend 4 to 10 times more performing than preparing. Professionals are going to spend 4 to 10 times more preparing than performing.
Yeah.
And so when it's time to perform, you're already prepared to do it.
Yeah.
And it is you practice as well. You practice as hard as if it's the game that you're getting ready to play in.
Right.
And so, have that opportunity to be able to share my story, and then also what I do to really mentor Black boys in America and throughout the city, in Detroit, where we live in. So,
yes, sir.
And really talk about the plight and the promise and the predicament of really how we need to really focus on literacy development for our Black boys, because they're not. Jails are waiting for them. They're building prisons based on 2nd and 3rd grade reading scores, as Dr. Juwan Sekunjufu conveys in his books, The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. So we have to put that as a preeminent issue on the table of education throughout these yet to be United States of America.
Yes, extremely important. Listen, I want to continue this conversation. I want to take a brief break just to acknowledge today's sponsors, those that are helping bring this show to you today. Our first is Com2 Cree. Planning an event? With Com2 Cree, your event is safe with me. From intimate gatherings to grand celebrations, we bring your vision to life with perfection. Contact us at Cree Events creevents1@gmail.com or call 313-334-8431. Again, that is Com2Cree Events, 1@gmail.com, 313-334-8431. That's Com2Cree, where your events become unforgettable. Casara's Cakes and Treats. Indulge in sweetness at Casara Cakes and Treats, where every bite is a masterpiece. From custom cakes to delicious treats, we make your celebrations unforgettable. Visit us on Facebook at Casara Cakes and Treats, 313-286-4130, and ask for Sharice. Your taste buds will thank you. For Real Deals. Transform your car buying experience with For Real Deals. Changing the narrative in automotive sales. Become an informed buyer with expert advice from Mr. For Real himself, Lindsberg Petway. Visit us at www.forrealbrand.com or call 313-995-2025 for more information and drive away confident. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Feel free to contact us if you would like to be a sponsor. I definitely want to be able to highlight and showcase other businesses in and around the city of Detroit and the metro area. Let people know that there, are people that are doing some great things, have some great businesses that you can benefit from and definitely patronize. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. So, getting back to our guest on today, Dr. Eddie Connor, I want to, again, thank you for being here. And I want to kind of get back to something that you talked about at the beginning of this conversation, and you kind of led into it before we went into the small break. Let's go back to the beginning. You're a native of Detroit, from Detroit, born, raised. Let's take it back to who you were. The Eddie that you are today, the Eddie that we see today, is not the Eddie that you've always been. And a lot of time, people, they don't understand that it took something for you to get to where you are. It didn't just happen. Can you talk a little bit about, your upbringing, where you come from, being in the city, why Detroit, why, you've had success on many levels and you're still in Detroit. Why stay in Detroit? What's your narrative? What's your story?
Great question. And, I think really what it comes from is the whole aspect of you don't know who you are. Somebody's going to decide what you get. But generally, if you don't know what you want, you're going to always remain confused about who it is that you are. And I think one of the things that really empowers us is knowing what our identity is. And I didn't always know that about myself. Growing up without my father in my life, raised by parents who were in the church, were actually missionaries to Jamaica, and wound up living in Jamaica for part of my life.
Wow.
Leaving Detroit, then coming back.
What
both
age?
Educators.
What age from what age to what age were you about in Jamaica?
Yeah, age for about 4 or 5 to about 8 years old.
Okay.
And so, coming back here, they wanted to double promote me, being over in Jamaica and experiencing that British education, and just seeing, just being around our people from the Jamaican diaspora, experiencing my father not being in my life for many of the years I was growing up as my parents divorced. And the question becomes, how do you play a role if you weren't given a script? How do you become a man if you don't see one, much less interact with one?
Yeah, definitely.
Then being diagnosed with cancer, as a teenager, in high school, where identity crisis is everything. You want to fit in, you want to be like every other kid, and now you're fighting for your life when in many cases you're just starting your life. It was a lot coming at me at one time, dealing with depression, low self-esteem, and wondering what is my purpose on the planet. Right. And so to have a praying mother, to be able to find that determination and believe that God could heal me from what it is that I was experiencing, stage 4 cancer, it's a blessing to find a cancer and bounce back from that setback. And so when you get a second chance at life, you see, boy, I got to do things differently. My life is not just about me. It's about being able to be a blessing to somebody else. And it's like what Zig Ziglar said, if you help people get what they want, you'll get what you want.
Yeah. Okay, you got to say that again.
So selfishly. Yeah.
Say that again.
You help people get what they want, you'll get what you want.
Man,
so
true statement.
Being a person who's going to give and empower other people to move their life to the next level. Is why I do what I do and why I'm still here, because I love the city. I put on for my city, as they say.
Yes, sir.
As we say, what up, though?
Yeah,
I love Detroit. And I've had other opportunities to go other places, but I'm keeping my feet here for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm the same way. Love Detroit, no matter where where life takes me. I'm always representing the city. It's just something about the city, being born and bred here. And everybody doesn't, but I can say that I do. I love Detroit. I love what it's made me to be, because of those struggles, because of those difficult situations. I don't. People don't always want to go through difficulty. I mean, let's be honest. Who does? Nobody, wakes up saying, I want to struggle today, or I want to experience, something as serious as cancer. And, you didn't just say I had cancer, not only as a teenager, which again is a very delicate stage of any, person's life, but stage 4, that's, final stages. But thank God, you were able to overcome, and you didn't take that lightly. You said, look, I got a second chance at this, and I'm going to do it right. And I think that's important, important for people to hear. And I thank God and I thank you for making that decision, because we all have choices, right? And we don't always make the best choices throughout life, but anyone being given the opportunity at doing it again, you got to do it better. You got to do it different. And most importantly, try to get it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, can you speak to, so you overcame that situation, and I'm sure other situations. Can you speak just a little bit to how? Again, it's one thing to say, yeah, I made it through. But, I'm sure there's somebody hanging on the edge of their seat, like, how? Like, how did you do it? Can you speak to that just a little bit?
Without a doubt, I think it is the fact that a lot of times you're experiencing grief, not because you lost someone, because in many cases you're having a near-death experience, because it feels as if you're losing pieces of yourself. And to find grace from the grief of what it is that you experience, to where it feels as if you're all alone, where you don't have anybody. You being able to tap into a reservoir within yourself that you don't even recognize. It's like that quote that says, sometimes you don't know how strong you are until being strong is your only option.
Yeah.
It's what the great Langston Hughes said. Life for me ain't been no crystal stair.
Man.
Been a lot of broken shards and glasses that in many cases we're treating glass like eggshells that in many cases we're stepping on, and that's cutting us. And now we're bleeding on people who didn't even cut us, because we're hurting, we're hemorrhaging. And now you're trying to lead while you're bleeding. You're hurting, but you're a healer for other people.
Yes, sir.
And so as I look back at my life at that particular time, you really have to move into a place of self-awareness. You have to move into a place of, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm experiencing. This is hurting me. And a lot of times we don't give that space and place for us as Black boys becoming men.
Yeah.
Because we always got to be tough.
Yeah.
Don't cry. Crying is for girls. We go through life with that S on our chest, but in many cases the S don't always mean we're Superman. Sometimes S means we're suffering in silence. We're scared.
Yeah.
We're struggling.
Yeah.
And we got to find that strength on the inside of us. And that takes, sometimes it's just one person that can just change your life. It's just one person. For me, that was a praying mother. For me, that was my grandfather. God rest his soul, who told me, Eddie, you don't never have to tell anybody how good you are. If you're good at what you do, they'll tell you. So all of that, dealing with depression and depravity and wanting to give up and wanting to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And resurrecting something on the inside of myself that God placed within me to let me know that, yes, what you went through was painful, but I'm going to empower you to make it purposeful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that became the trajectory that changed my life.
That's good, man. That's good. And it's difficult. I know that's not easy for everybody, or anybody for that matter. Yeah. But I just wanted to hear you say that it's important. I think for our listeners to know that no matter how deep you are in whatever you're in, there's a way out. There is a way up. There is a way over. And sometimes it may have to start from your inner self. It may take a person, or a thing or a situation. Whatever it is, don't give up, because your life has purpose. And as you can see, Dr. Eddie is doing just that with his life. He's using it for purpose. Man, we've had a great conversation. I wish we could definitely talk more. And again, I know you're busy, but if ever there's another opportunity for us to chop it up, I definitely would love for us to, just continue to talk more. I'm definitely, any time in any way that I can support, I'm here for you. One thing I didn't get to touch on, and before, there's a couple more things I want to do, but before we go, I want to talk about your books. You've written, is it 16? Is it 17 books? How many books
16,
have you
but I
written?
think you're prophetic. 17 is definitely coming.
Definitely. I've written one book and, working on another one. How has that process, how is that process for you? How have you been able to, create in that way, and what's been your why for that? Again, writing is for some it's therapeutic, but just to write is one thing, but you've been able to write in succession of actually printing, publishing books. Well, what was that process like? What was your why for that?
Here's the thing. I never wanted to be a writer at all. I
Mm,
never wanted to write a book at all. It was
mm-hmm.
my mother who told me while I was in my dorm room at Eastern Michigan with literally a dollar and a dream in my name in a dorm room that you need to write your story. And
Wow.
I never wanted to share my story because I was real, hesitant, reticent about
Yeah.
talking about me going through cancer. That's not
Yeah.
nothing that you take pride in at all.
Certainly.
And to live through dying places, she said, you got to share your story. It's not for you, it's to bless somebody. And so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as I was writing, I was healing. Writing
Yeah.
became a therapeutic aspect for me. I was forgiving a father who
Mm-hmm.
never showed up for me one day in the hospital. I was forgiving people who I thought were praying for me, but literally were praying on me,
Mm-hmm.
sitting on the sidelines. And so as I began to write, I just began to see that this is a gift that as I nurture it, as I develop it, as I stir it up,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are being empowered by my words. And
Yeah.
I only intended to write one book, but after you write one, everybody asks you, when's the second one coming?
Yes, sir.
And so I'm
Yes, sir.
asking you too, when's the second one coming?
I'm working on it now. I've had, some, again,
Yeah,
like I said,
man.
I've had some similar, not the same, but similar trepidations. For me, it was
Yeah.
for me to tell my story. Nobody wanted to hear nothing about what I've gone through. And again, you think, well, you're not famous. Nobody knows you. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. But I realized if it's just one person, it's worth me doing and giving away what God put in me, because it ain't for me. And so, yeah, I'm working on the second book is coming. It's on the way.
Yeah.
It's on the way.
There it is.
Yes,
There it
sir.
is. And that's a beautiful thing because a lot of people think you have to be an expert to start,
Mm,
but you don't have to start you unless you start, you'll never be an expert.
right.
And
Exactly.
so taking the time to actually develop and hone your gifts and recognize that if you don't share it, if you don't write it, if you don't talk about it, if you don't develop it, you're cheating the
Yeah.
world of the gift that God gave you. And so many of
Yeah.
my books on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, iTunes, Audible.
Yes,
My
sir.
latest one is called Identity. I got another one previous to that called The Mask of Masculinity.
Yeah.
How men can reclaim their identity, lead, and love with vulnerability.
Yeah.
So, book for men, but also the women who love us.
Yeah. Man, so we can do a interview just on all the books you've written alone and just some of the inspiration behind those things. And I think it's great because again, one, it takes time. It also takes it's a certain skill level as well, but the ability to just be open, to want to take something that's in you and then share it in that form. I thank you for doing that. Please, again, my wife and I, we got a couple few of your books, and listen, it's worth you investing in, and it'll bless your life for sure. Please, look up Dr. Eddie Connor. Anything that this young man is doing, gifting, giving away, you definitely want to be a part of it. Man, thank you
Can I
for
say this
this.
as well?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Can I say this as well?
Yes,
I've
sir.
written a number of books, and most
Hmm.
people ask me, the questions like you do, and
Hmm.
ask me how can they write their book as well.
Hmm.
I actually have
Absolutely.
a whole tutorial and a blueprint. It's called the Bestseller Book Blueprint.
Nice.
80% of Americans want to write a book. Only 1% actually do. And
Mm.
so there's somebody who's watching. There's somebody who's going to check out the replay who wants
Hmm.
to write a book, doesn't know where to start at all. I have a whole bestseller book blueprint where I'm showing you the strategies that I've used. That whenever I drop a book, how is it that I'm able to go number one? I'm sharing the strategies, the structure, the solutions, the systems of how to take your vision to another dimension, take your manuscript to the marketplace, becoming a best-selling author, to become a industry authority as an
Yes.
author, and then
Yes.
also just to make your dream come alive. So they can go to theeaglesacademy.com/store, and then you'll see the bestseller book blueprint. They can download that, and it'll be an amazing blessing to them.
Great. Great. Man, that's a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna definitely make sure I post your information on some of my social media tags and all that. And then once the website and everything is up, I'm gonna, go back and make sure all my guests have their information there. It's just so there's a central place where people can go back and, get stuff. But definitely, please look up Dr. Eddie Connor. Before we go, it's something that I like to do on the show called Fun Facts Off the Dome. Just gonna ask you some questions, and this gives people an opportunity just to kind of relax and just hey, you're a fun person as well as just somebody who's educated and wants to impart in others. Just off the dome, a couple questions for you. You mind playing?
Let's do it.
You a pancakes or waffle guy?
Give me some pancakes, man. A lot of syrup, please.
You gotta have a lot of
It's a
syrup.
little softer. The waffles a little too. I don't want to be cutting all day on something.
I got you.
Crispy waffles,
Would you rather have super hearing or super sight?
I would say super hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, I might need to step out of a room and hear what the conversation is. So
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Late nights or early mornings for you? You like staying up late or getting up early, or you got to do both?
I need to get up early in the morning, but sometimes I got to get work done, so I'm up late. I'm burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah, I understand that, brother. I understand that.
Yeah.
Your favorite superhero? Do you have a favorite
Black
superhero?
Panther.
There we go.
Black Panther.
The last book you read?
Last book I read. Don't Drop the Mic. Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Nice. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Superman.
Of course. Best season of the year?
Season I was born in, spring. I got to go. It's a toss up between spring and fall. I don't like it too hot, and I don't like it too cold. So
I get it. I get
between
it.
spring and fall.
What's your birthday?
April 7th. So
Okay. So
a few days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Appreciate it. When's yours? You in April too?
I'm a July birthday. I'm a summer guy.
Okay.
Summer baby.
Okay. Cool.
If you could bring back any fashion trend from the past, what would it be? Your bell bottoms, your Afro guy. What trend would you bring back?
Let me see. I'm gonna bring back when the brothers would just, how you saw those iconic photos of just brothers just marching in suits. I'm gonna bring that era back with the black suit, the white shirt, the skinny tie with the glasses.
Yeah.
And then I'm also bring back the afros. Why not? Why not bring the afros back? The black exploitation days, the 70s. Yeah, bring that back.
Yes, sir. The best concert or live event you've ever attended that wasn't your own. Of course, that's
Wow.
You do some good stuff.
Wow. Let me say, best concert I've ever been to. It had to have been, I gotta say, Babyface was amazing. I was speaking at the Tom Joyner family reunion some years ago.
Nice.
And Babyface happened to be the highlight. He did all the hits. I was surprised by a lot of songs I didn't even realize he wrote.
Right.
Guy is an absolute genius.
Yeah, man.
Genius,
Great experience, I'm sure. One last question.
And then event, I would say MegaFest.
Okay.
MegaFest.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
Bishop
amazing.
T.D. Jakes. He doesn't do them
TD Jakes,
anymore, does he?
doesn't do them anymore. I'm so
Yeah.
honored to have been. I was a speaker at the last one.
Yeah. Wow.
That was the last one that ever happened in Dallas,
Wow.
Texas.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
Yeah. I told y'all he worldwide. You know, he worldwide. One last question. If you had to eat only one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
This is easy. Salmon.
Ah.
I'm a salmon guy.
Yeah,
Salmon
man.
and veggies and some wild rice and spinach salad.
Yes, sir.
I'm with that. I rock
Yes,
with
sir.
it. It's healthy too.
It is. It is. And delicious when it's done right. Man, listen. I can't say thank you enough for you taking time out again, you know, right after coming out of class and teaching, just to share with myself and this audience. And I hope people have been enlightened, encouraged, and empowered. But please, before you go, once again, I know you dropped a couple of, tags where people can find you, but let people know where they can find you via social media, via your website, anything that you have where people can find you and get more information.
Listen, I'm appreciative of you having the opportunity. I remember you were telling me, texting me some time ago about the podcast, and it's coming and it's brewing and it's here.
Yes, sir.
And so to hear your voice of choice and to see how you are really sharing our story and keeping the narrative of the strength of us alive,
Definitely.
major salute to you.
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate the opportunity to share on your platform. I like to say the revolution not only be televised, it'll be digitized. So
yes, sir.
People can go and connect with me. I'm on social media everywhere at Eddie Connor Jr. Put some respect on my name, EDDIE CONNOR JR. And then, of course, OR, right?
Yeah.
And then you want to be a part of my Amazing Equals Academy community, where we empower you to soar into success and purpose, talking about emotional intelligence, transformational intelligence, relational intelligence, building your brand and your business, developing your ideas, how to turn your ideas into income, your contacts into contracts, how to communicate whatever you're building. You can build it better if you're using better words. So go to the eaglesacademy.com, tap the join now button, fill out the form. I guarantee you will be transformed. So appreciate you, brother. Sincere salute for all the work that you're doing.
Man, thank you so much. And again, whether online or offline, we definitely got to chop it up again. Thank you. Thank you much. And, man, until next time, thank you. Before we get out of here, I just want to end tonight's episode with Mike's Moments of Motivation. We kind of hinted around it today, but I think something that's important that we all have to be successful. And it's this one word called team. To get to where you got to get to in life, you need to have a team. It literally takes a village. There's a saying that says that there are no I's in team, but there's one I in win, and we all want to win, right? However, there are two I's in vision, and it literally and figuratively speaking, in order for us to win, we got to have a vision, and you can't do it alone. You got to have a team. So even though there are no I's in team, in order to win, to get that I, you got to have vision. You got to have a team. So, hey, collaboration over competition. Let's do what we got to do. Get yourself around the right individuals that believe in you as much as you believe in yourself, and they want to see you win as well. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Black Male Podcast. We hope today's stories and discussions have inspired you. Remember, our journey together does not end here. Stay connected. Connect with me on Facebook and IG at the Black Male Podcast. YouTube is coming soon. Let's keep the conversations going and let's continue to uplift each other. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and remember, we're in this together. I'm Mike Sears, and it's been a pleasure. Take care, stay safe, and until the next episode of the Black Male Podcast, don't forget, fade to black.